Stephen A., we saw all 16 playoff teams in action over the last 48 hours.
Yeah.
What to you was the most important thing you saw, your number one takeaway?
Well, to me, it was the Dallas Mavericks beating the Los Angeles Clippers. I mean, I'm wondering when everybody's going to put the Clippers on notice. The fact of the matter is that Doc Rivers is gone. Ty Lue is there as your coach. Kawhi Leonard was supposed to be the king, the new king in Los Angeles. They bowed out after giving up a 3-1 lead to the Denver Nuggets in the Western Conference semifinals last year. And in the first round, even though they won in 6 games, Luka Doncic was giving it to them, but Porzingis went down after game 3 when he dropped 34, even though they lost that particular game. Well, now we fast forward to this game, and once again, here comes Luka Doncic, dropping triple doubles with an over 30-point performance. Now let's look at that for a second here, Greeny. Kawhi Leonard is supposed to be a superstar, one of the top 5 players in the world. Him and Paul George are stars.
Right.
Why do we call them stars? It's not just because they can average better than 25 a game anytime they want to. It's because, unlike most others, they're defensive stoppers as well. Well, we saw Jamal Murray give them 40 in a game 7 after they gave up that 3-1 lead. We saw Luka Doncic having his way with them, and now they start off these playoffs with Luka Doncic having his way. What the hell is anybody going to do about that? I want to know. Luka is putting everybody on notice. So we got to pay attention to that.
You know, I was trying to I can't get my computer working here to get the stats, but he put up another 30-point triple-double. Is historic for a player at his age. So let's just live in his world for just a second here. What should stop someone from saying right now, if you're making a list of the 3 best players in the world, Luka Doncic should be on it? Well,
I mean, there's not really anything other than he's a defensive liability at times. He doesn't really play on both ends of the floor the way that you would like.
He's that good, right?
He's that good. He's that good offensively. We're not going to accuse him of being that defensively. That's number one. Number 2, you got to take others into consideration. Kevin Durant is somebody that we might want to notice. I mean, after all, he was out for 18 months, comes back, and in the games he played this season, averaged nearly 27. His first playoff game, he drops 32. Okay, we can't ignore him. We can't ignore LeBron James because that's just one game. We know what LeBron James can bring to the table. Anthony Davis got to show up. Anthony Davis is one of the top 5 players in the world when healthy. How the hell do you get outplayed so thoroughly by DeAndre Ayton? DeAndre Ayton is playing his first playoff game. He looked bigger, he looked stronger, and he looked like he wanted it more. And I said to everyone before this series began, Anthony Davis can't be shooting jump shots and fallaways. He has to be a man amongst boys in the post. And DeAndre Ayton is saying, excuse me, that can't happen because I'm a man. And that's what he said in game 1. How Anthony Davis responds in game 2 may very well tell us or decide this series.
I had our mutual friend Kendrick Perkins on earlier saying exactly that. Anthony Davis needs to go in the paint. He needs to assert himself.
Yes.
Right now, our analytics favors Phoenix in that series. Vegas favors the Lakers. Which side are you on?
Well, I mean, listen, I picked the Lakers to win the series of 7 games, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if Phoenix won because they're younger, they're spry. They have a superstar in Devin Booker. His first playoff game, he was the best player on the court. It wasn't LeBron. It wasn't Anthony Davis. It's Devin Booker. And so when you look at it from that perspective, along with the leadership of CP3, and you look at the coaching of Monty Williams, what is going to usurp Phoenix in any way is LeBron and AD. It really just comes down to that. And if DeAndre Ayton neutralizes Anthony Davis in any way or negates what he's doing because he's matching what Anthony Davis brings to the table, Phoenix is going to win the series. So in order for the Lakers to win the series, Anthony Davis has to be dominant. It's not, you can't have DeAndre or Ayton offsetting you. You can't be equal to his production. No, you have to exceed his level of production significantly in this series in order for the Lakers to win it.
Stephen A. Smith here. Let's go to last night. You and I were both at Madison Square Garden. The scene was electric. 15,000 fans in the building, and until there were 0.9 seconds left, they were awfully loud. What was your number one takeaway from that game? Again, Trae Young, the heartbreaking buzzer beater to win that one on the road.
Well, my number one takeaway is that it was the coming out party for Trae Young. This kid is a young star, and he has been underappreciated because we keep associating him with the trade for Luka Doncic. Remember, Dallas traded with Atlanta. They traded up to get Luka Doncic, and the Hawks took Trae Young a pick later, knowing what Dallas was going to do. They said they wanted Trae Young and a pick. Well, Trae Young showed up last night. He's cat quick. He has exceptional range. He can pass the ball. He made some beautiful, beautiful passes. He clearly can shoot. He can get into the lane when he wants. He has an exceptional floater. The kid's got an offensive arsenal that's made for postseason play. It was his coming out party, and Tom Thibodeau, a candidate for Coach of the Year, is going to have to figure out that was. There were 2 All-Stars on the court last night. Only one showed up. Julius Randle had an awful game. He's got to make amends for that. And Tom Thibodeau didn't have his greatest outing. At some point in time, these are the playoffs. And when Elfrid Payton shows up and people are giving Derrick Rose a standing ovation just because that means Payton is coming out of the game, that tells you how everybody feels about Elfrid Payton. We're not knocking him. He's got promise. You look ahead and all of that stuff down the line, fine. But right now, it's not flowing for him. And you're going up against a Hawks team that has no problem putting up buckets. Collins, Hunter, Gallinari, and, of course, Trae Young leading the way with some exceptional coaching by Nate McMillan. If you're Tom Thibodeau, you're going to have to answer the call. I call for him to bench Payton, start Derrick Rose, have Derrick Rose in quickly in the lineup. And what the hell are you doing putting Frank Ntilikina in the game? First of all, we were supposed to be done with him because Phil Jackson drafted him, and anything Phil Jackson touched as a New York Knick, we shouldn't want any parts of. But Frank Ntilikina, not to knock him because I'm not, but he's not that dude. And when you've been sitting him the entire game, to ask him to come off the bench, no warm-up whatsoever, to guard Trae Young, Tom Thibodeau, you know better than that. Derrick Rose, quickly, guys that broke a sweat and were already playing, would have done a better job of defending Trae Young than Frank Ntilikina did in that particular situation. Look how wide open it is with the game on the line. He had a floater in the lane. That's not a 3. That's him driving past 2 people and going in the lane for a floater with no resistance. That cannot happen.
All right, to your point, and you can see in the highlight there that he was yelling at the crowd. The crowd was chanting at him all night long.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.